You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
The Reckoning Coming for Trump's Secret Enablers, based on an article by Robert Wright. The building did it, so nobody did. Agency laundering is cover. The reporting problem here is not just sloppy language, it is a political alibi. When the media says the Justice Department did this or the White House wants that, it turns identifiable power into weather. The source is right to reject that. In this regime, institutions are not acting on their own. People are acting through institutions, and the people matter. Trump's private state. The most revealing detail in the source is the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. It did not emerge as some neutral departmental project. It came out of meetings between Trump's personal lawyers and Todd Blanche, who had also been Trump's personal lawyer and was then acting attorney general. That is not an institution discovering a policy. That is a president's legal defense apparatus being laundered into government action. Blanche later rescinded the order himself. That matters because it destroys the comforting fiction that the Justice Department is a stable actor with a single will. The relevant fact is not the department's nameplate. It is who signed, who benefited, and who could undo it. The reflecting pool lie. The same pattern shows up in the reflecting pool fiasco. Trump insisted for months that vandals caused the damage. G9 Pirro then charged David Hearn with felony destruction of government property, exposing him to a possible 10-year sentence. Later, Pirro's office conceded the problem was a botched installation, not vandalism, and that if Interior had been forthcoming, the government would not have pursued the indictment. That is not a bureaucratic misunderstanding. It is state power used to protect a lie. Someone inside the Trump orbit needed a vandal story, and a citizen nearly paid for it with his freedom. Who enabled it? The source keeps asking the right question. Who actually did this? Was it Stephen Miller, Russell Vought, Susie Wiles, Trump himself, Doug Burgum, Todd Blanche? The uncertainty is not just a reporting gap. It is part of the system. Trump's operation runs on blurred responsibility, where loyalty matters more than legality and denial is treated as governance. This is how authoritarian politics protects itself. It distributes blame across titles, then hides decision-making behind those titles. A department can be made to look responsible, while the real decision comes from a personal circle of loyalists and enforcers. Then, if the lie collapses, the institution absorbs the damage and the principles remain vague enough to evade accountability. Why the framing fails. Calling this the Justice Department's fund or the White House's claim is not neutral shorthand. It is misdirection. It treats deliberate acts as if they were the output of an abstract machine that shields the people driving the machine. The correction is simple and more honest. Name the person, name the order, name the beneficiary, name the consequence. If Blanche signed it, say Blanche signed it. If Trump dictated the story, say Trump dictated the story. If Interior enabled a false prosecution, identify the officials who withheld the truth. Power has a name. The larger pattern is not confusion. It is privatized government. Trump's personal legal and political needs fused to state power, then wrapped in institutional labels to dull the scandal. That is how corruption survives long enough to become routine. The real danger is not just that Trump's regime lies. It is that it trains the press and the public to speak in the passive voice, while power acts in the active one. When that happens, accountability is not merely delayed, it is dissolved. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article. With the automated voice of Lesak, thanks for listening.